In the early hours of October 7, 1998, in Laramie, Wyoming, a senseless act of hate led to the death of a young man with a promising future. His death affected the nation and the world.
The Laramie Project is a true story about the murder of Matthew Shepard in 1998. Matthew was a young gay student from Laramie who was attending the University of Wyoming. One night after an evening at the bar, Matthew was taken by two men, hung next to a fence, and left in the middle of the field to die. This act was considered to be the most violent act against a gay person the nation had ever seen. This event drew lots of attention towards the attitude and overall tolerance that there was towards gay people in the country. It struck a lot of controversy from people who were both for and against homosexuality. This also drew a lot of attention to Laramie, Wyoming as
The Tectonic Theater Project was founded in 1991 by Moises Kaufman and Jeffrey LaHost. Tectonic refers to the art and science of structure and was chosen to emphasize the company's interest in construction, how things are made and how they might be made differently. Tectonic Theater Project is an award-winning company whose plays have been performed around the world. The company is dedicated to developing innovative works that explore theatrical language and form, fostering an artistic dialogue with their audiences on the social, political, and human issues that affect us all.
Moises Kaufman does not include scenes in his play, but rather moments. Within each act, there are several of them. One thing Moises and the Tectonic Theater Company discussed before putting together the Laramie Project was staying as true to the real events of the incident as they possibly could. The company chose to put this play in moments because, unlike a play, life does not occur in perfect sequential scenes, but rather in moments. The Laramie Project is a story of a population of people that were affected by a gay hate crime. After the Matthew Shepard incident, Laramie became a symbol for gay hate in America. Laramie was under a microscope that it had never been before. For years, Laramie was a small town where everyone knew everyone. They were a close-knit community, but they definitely had their topics that they did not discuss. Homosexuality was one of them. The main character in the play, Matthew Shepard, is not actually in the play. The entire play we are learning bits and pieces of Matthew's life. The play's depiction of Matthew Shepard does not make him a hero, rather a normal 21-year-old student who happened to be homosexual, living in a community that was slowly developing an acceptance and understanding towards what it means to be homosexual in America. The Tectonic Theater Company was able to do multiple interviews with some of the people of Laramie and give updates on what they had been dealing with months after the incident. One of the people the company was able to update with was Jedediah Schultz. Over the play, Jedediah goes through a battle within himself on his views on homosexuality. Jedediah grew up in a household where it was considered immoral to be homosexual. After Matthew Shepard's incident, Jedediah found himself questioning his views on what is moral, his religion, and his views that he had grown up with his entire life.
The town of Laramie was relatively small, and they simply did not have the resources to educate people in the town about homosexuality. No one in the town was very comfortable talking about being gay, so there was really no one to educate others about it. The town was incredibly sheltered. It seems like this is unrealistic for a town of so many people, but it is not. Laramie is much like any small town today. They live with each other, live off each other's products, and work together. Since they only surround themselves with people of the same thoughts and ideas, when something comes along to shake this up, things can get really ugly. The same could be said about any tight-knit group of people. The Laramie Project is set in the town of Laramie, Wyoming, where the attack on Matthew Shepard occurred. At the time of the attack, Laramie had a population of approximately 27,000 people. It is home to the University of Wyoming, where Matthew attended school. The small town community plays a large role in the play because the town of Laramie was very sheltered.
Moises Kaufman expresses during the play a lot of the troubles he had trying to find people to interview. After the Matthew Shepard incident, the people of the town felt they had been invaded. Many people were hesitant about being interviewed because of the unfavorable attention the media had given the town within the first couple weeks of the incident. People of the town felt as if it was their responsibility to secure the reputation of their town and the people in it from any further damage. Because of two men, Aaron McKinney and Russell Henderson, the entire town of Laramie was being exposed under a negative light. Laramie never intended for their town to become a spectacle, but that's exactly what it became. None of the events in the play were done to create drama, but still Matthew Shepard's story received tons of attention from all across the country. The moment in the play, Vigils, recreates the vigils that were held for Matthew days after his death. These vigils were not intended to be a spectacle. This is just the real-life impact this true story had on the hearts of people all across the country.
A little more than a month after the Matthew Shepard incident, the Tectonic Theater Company went to Laramie, Wyoming in hopes of getting the raw information of the story. One thing the company did not anticipate was how difficult it would be to get information about the incident in Laramie from the people of the town. Their struggle is expressed in the play. Laramie was a close-knit town where information was stored and not dispersed. The Matthew Shepard incident had not just the Tectonic Theater Company, but the whole country looking for information about the incident. A very important theme in this play is learning to have tolerance toward people who are not like you. The play forces its audience to think about what it really means to be tolerant. Throughout the play, the audience discovers the differences between coexistence and acceptance. The play explores this through the characters. Particularly, there are some people in Laramie who live in coexistence with the gays of the community. They do not outwardly hate them, but they do not necessarily approve of their choices. The character of Matt Galloway is a great example of this type of person. There are also people in Laramie who live in acceptance. Romaine, Matthew's friend, is an example of this type of person.
You, Mr. McKinney, with your friend Mr. Henderson, left him there by himself. But he was not alone. There were his lifelong friends with him. Friends that he had grown up with. You're probably wondering who these friends were. First, he had the beautiful night sky and the same stars and moon we used to see through a telescope. Then he had the daylight and the sun to shine on him. And through it all, he was breathing in the scent of the pine trees from the snowy range. He heard the wind, the ever-present Wyoming wind, for the last time. He had one more friend with him. He had God. And I feel better knowing he wasn't alone. Matt's beating, hospitalization, and funeral focused worldwide attention on hate. Good is coming out of evil. People have said enough is enough. I miss my son, but I'm proud to be able to say that he was my son. Judy has been quoted as being against the death penalty. It has been stated that Matt was against the death penalty. Both of these statements are wrong. I, too, believe in the death penalty. I would like nothing better than to see you die, Mr. McKinney. However, this is the time to begin the healing process. To show mercy to someone who refused to show any mercy. Mr. McKinney, I am going to grant you life. As hard as it is to do so, because of Matthew. Every time you celebrate Christmas, a birthday, the 4th of July, remember that Matt isn't. Every time you wake up in your prison cell, remember you had the opportunity and the ability to stop your actions that night. You robbed me of something very precious, and I will never forgive you for it. McKinney, I give you life in the memory of someone who no longer lives. May you have a long life, and may you thank Matthew every day for